Hurst from Radiant Heart Yoga here, sharing another practice with you. If you're new to yoga, if you're not sure where to start, if you want to take your practice to another level, if you want to watch tutorials on different poses, then click the subscribe button below. If you've any questions, if you've any comments, leave them below, and let's get practicing. Welcome to this tutorial on the splits. So that pose is called Hanumanasana in yoga, and this short tutorial can work really well alongside. I have another video called Hanuman, and that is all about the Monkey God Hanuman, where this pose originated from. But the reason that I'm suggesting that is because it takes you through a practice that will really open up the fronts and the backs of your legs, which is what you need to do to start to work on your splits. So you can always add some other extra poses in this, staying in sort of a yin style forward fold, for a few minutes is going to really help to sort of open up your hamstrings. This is a really great pose as well, Virasana, hero pose. So you lie all the way back. And you can even stretch your arms over the crown of your head. So any poses like that, in addition to the ones that are on that video, are going to really help you to get into the pose. So once you're ready, once you're nice and warmed up, this is another one, absolutely brilliant, this one. From your lunge, hop switch, hop switch, hop switch, yeah, because you don't just want to stretch out the muscles that you're going to use in Hanumanasana. You also want to get really warmed up, because when your muscles are warm, they're a little bit more pliable. So you're going to come into a lunge. Okay? So you've got your back knee down. I'm just come a little bit further forward. You've got your back knee down. Your foot and your knee are hip width apart. So you've got room for your hips, and all the way through your progress into the splits, you're going to see if you can keep your hips level. You don't want to let this hip roll open so that you end up twisting to the left. So you've got to get this part of the back leg open and this part of the front leg to stretch, and I'll talk you through that as we go through. Grab your bricks on the highest level, and you're going to start to straighten this right leg. So this is your first stage of working into the splits. This is half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana, and you would just gradually, keeping this front leg straight, keeping your hips square, start to lower the level of your bricks as you start to open up the back of this leg, until eventually you're able to fold deeply over this right leg. You're really going to need to be able to do that, or get somewhere near that, before you're going to be ready for the splits. But once you're ready, you're going to bring your bricks back to the highest level, and then you'll slide your front heel forwards and then slide your back knee back. And can you see, I'm just starting to come a little bit lower and a little bit lower, which is what I just showed you in the half splits, is just to gradually work your way in. And it may take months, if you really want to be able to do this pose. It's a journey. It's not going to happen straight away for most people, and it certainly didn't for me. And then you just gradually, you might be tighter in the back of your leg, or you might be tighter in the front of your leg. So for me, I'm tighter in the hip flexors and the front of my leg than I am in the hamstrings. So I prefer to back into it, because this leg isn't going to get any straighter. It's here that I need the work. So sometimes it's nice to put one of your bricks underneath this hip and just let yourself relax into it a little bit. And you can also do that with the front leg if you're tighter in the hamstring, and let yourself relax into that a little bit. But I also like to sway and move a little bit. I find that starts to open things up a bit, because it's not, your legs are not limbs, isolated limbs, you know, they're connected to your pelvis, and your pelvis is connected to your torso, and so it's a process. So I'm going to back a little bit deeper in now, and then maybe come down onto a lower level of the bricks. But if you notice, I'm trying to stay quite upright with my torso, because that's going to help me to open the front of this back leg. It's just going to stretch it all out. And again, a little sway, side to side. And you'll notice that I've got my back toes tucked under. Now I'm not going to end with my back toes tucked under, but the reason for that is, if I'm going to keep the whole of the ball of my foot on the floor, it's going to mean that my hips have to stay straight, and I'm not able to roll the hips open, which is what we don't want. And then gradually over time, you may be able to come down onto the lowest level of the bricks, and then maybe even take the bricks away. And this is a point where you would be able to untuck this back foot. And what I'm going to do from here is, I'm going to engage the front of my right leg, which is the front leg, and I'm going to engage the back of the left leg, so that I can just stretch those muscles a little bit deeper. And there's lots of variations of Hanuman. I'm not open enough in the back leg to be able to lift my arms up and make it into a very, very deep back bend. But I can fold forwards because I'm more open in my hamstrings. So there's lots of different variations, and getting out of the pose, you need to be really careful. You're going to slide your front foot forwards and your back knee in, and slowly bring yourself out. So I'm going to do that again on the other side, and it's important that you practice this pose on both sides. You're going to have one side that's a little bit easier to do it than the other. So starting off again with the half splits shape, and you're reaching your sit bones back, drawing your chest forwards, really engaging the top of this left leg, and then gradually over time you're going to work at getting lower and lower until you can at least come to this stage. So that's going to be a journey in itself. So you can fold deeper over that front leg, and then once you're there, you can start to work on your Hanumanasana. So you slide one foot forwards and the other knee back, keeping your hips square, and then just keep going, a little bit forwards, a little bit back. I like to back into it, like I said before, but so, and then you'll be able to feel that you're able to come a little bit lower on the bricks. So it's almost like I'm pushing down into the bricks so I'm supported, and I'm not taking all the way down through my legs and feeling an overstretching. So I'm easing my way in. So I'm just bending my elbows and just exploring, have I got any more space to move into or not? And if I haven't got any more space, I'm going to keep my arms straight, and I'm just going to gradually work my way deeper. Okay, and then maybe you come on to the lowest level, and at this point maybe you can untuck your toes and allow yourself to come a little bit deeper. And again, little movements, little sways, side to side. But it really is about exploring for your body. Is it the restriction here? Like for me, as I said, it is with me. It's this, I'm tighter here. My hamstrings are more open than that part of the body. So for me, it's doing lots and lots of work stretching the front here before I come into my Hanumanasana. And stay as long as you can, just working on, because your body lets you in. So I'm aware now that, if I can take those bits away, that I'm able to come deeper in than when I first got here. Yeah, and when I first got to this stage. So your body gradually lets you in, as long as it feels as though you're treating it with respect. Yeah, you're not rushing, you're not pushing. I've not pushed myself into this pose at all. Yeah, and then again, slowly bringing yourself out. Okay. And then don't forget closing the body up before you finish. So a twist would be a really nice way to finish from this little tutorial. So you could do any supine twist lying down, so you could just drop your knees to one side, or you could wrap your legs around one another and drop them over to the side, and do that on each side. So there you have it. Your splits pose. It was a pose that I always wanted to get into, but you have to keep practicing it, and that's the challenge, because there's so many other poses that, you know, certainly for me, that I want to keep being able to do. So it's just revisiting it and practicing it regularly, but the benefits of it are just amazing, opening up in your legs and your pelvis. So thank you for listening and for allowing me to be your guide.